many of you guys have a difference from what you want to what you have? How many, is it different? Is anybody's the same?
In which relationship?
Any of them?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have one that's the same.
Okay, one's the same? What you guys need to do is look and say, what am I doing in this relationship that's making it work? You know? Because this is the thing, like I said, it's nice to learn from mistakes and say, okay, I know not how to do this now. I'm going to learn not to do it this way. But you have to figure out the way it is going to work. How many of you guys said, I'm not going to raise my kids like my parents raised me? How many of you guys have felt that or said that? That's great. The problem is, if you're just saying, I'm not going to do this, then what are you going to do? Because I promise what happens is when you get in an uncomfortable situation, what do? You run back to what you know. You run back to mama. I mean, honestly, talk to the parents that are in here. How many of you guys were like, I'm not going to do that like my parents did, but then as soon as you got thrown into the situation, you found yourself doing almost the exact same thing? Did everybody have that tendency once or twice? Never?
No.
What did you do different?
I didn't beat my kids.
Okay? But this is the thing. So did you go completely the other extreme?
Yeah, to some degree, a lot more enabling, a lot more permissiveness, even though I didn't like it. So they got a different, I think, message. But I was always afraid of being abusive because I was so abused.
Does that make sense? This is what you guys got to learn from. This is one of the big keys in relationships. If this happened to you right here, and you're like, I'm never going to have anything like that, and you're so far on the other side that you're like, I'm not even going to go close to that line, what's going to happen to the kids? Kenzie?
They're going to basically do what majority of us that brought us here do whatever they want, basically sort of walk over parents, and then the next generation, they aren't going to have any boundaries or didn't grow up with any discipline or self-control, so therefore it's just going to keep going and things are just going to get worse and worse.
It's just interesting how this works. Have patience. We're going to talk about this a little bit different when we start talking about relationships. Have patience with people. Everybody brings in a little baggage that makes them walk a little bit crooked. The key to it is helping everybody get balanced. Because if you would have never have pushed that boundary, Elise, would it have ever been a problem? No. But the problem is you didn't have a boundary that way, so you kept pushing, because you knew your dad was a little further away on that one subject. Listen?
Yeah, you know what, and we get some family values from our parents. We need to transmit it to our children. I will tell you something like happened to me and to my parents. My grandpa was very strict man. When my daddy wanted to go somewhere, he has to know where he's going and when he's coming back. And I was raised the same way. I cannot tell my daddy, I'm going outside. He will ask me to do what? To play soccer. So after soccer, I need to see you home. So I do the same with my kid. So this generation, sometimes they want to be free, totally free. So I said, it's not going to happen. If you want to go somewhere, it's okay, but I want to know where are you going, who are you hanging with, and at what time are you going to come back home? That is the problem we get with the kids sometimes. No, Daddy.
Because you're pushing values that were pushed on you.
Absolutely.
Down the line.
Yeah.
Did you ever want to be free?
Me?
Yeah. When you were growing up, you're like, oh, I just want to be free. I just want to go run over here where I want to be.
Sure, sometimes yes, I feel like that. But I found out that my father was right. Because on the streets, there's something like this can destroy anybody. But at home, home, as you know, home is where your story begins. Home is street home when you get good education. On the street, you cannot get what you get in your house.
And this is one of the key, because all of us are passing on values. And one of my favorite things about this, what we're going to talk about, I mean, we're going to do some fun stuff from here on out. I mean, the lecture part's getting over. But this next one, how well do you guys know your family? Because think about this. When we're starting to talk about just that needs of happiness, does everybody remember that from the seminars? Relationships have a lot to do with this. So I've kind of broken it down. To have a stable relationship, what do you talk about?
Current events.
Yeah. So, okay, Ginger, who do you have just a stable relationship with? It's not good, it's not bad, it just is.
People at work.
Okay, what do you talk about with them?
Weather, movies,
How's your day?
politics.
Very general things, right?
Yes.
How many of you guys have a very stable relationship with your family? How many of you guys, like I have 2 older brothers, we have a stable relationship. I love them to death, but it's just purely instability. How was work? How was your kids? Where are you going to hunt this year? You know, what are you going to do with this? I mean, it's just very blah. There's not a lot of depth to the relationship. Grace?
It's just like, you'll just talk just to fill that awkward space. You're not really sharing your feelings, talking about the weather. Like, who even cares about the weather? Like, that's what I talk about with my mom. Sometimes, I don't know, it's like, I move past that.
Okay. So what did you have to do to move past that?
Really, I'm still working on it. Saying like how I feel. I don't know. It's weird for me still even here, so.
This is techniques, you guys, you need to learn. If you want to have better relationships, go through this. This is be very helpful in creating better and more healthy relationships. When you start finding yourself talking about very, very general things with people, let the light bulb click that this is a very stable, a very low priority relationship. Leonie,
Well, what if you want it to be that?
it's got to start somewhere.
No, I'm saying, what if you're fine with where that relationship is?
Absolutely. How many of you guys like that relationship with some of these people? There's some of our employees that I don't even want to see outside of work. I love them. I appreciate what they do, but I don't ever want to run into them at Walmart. And this is why. What will we talk about? Work. I want stable. How's the weather? How's this? Goodbye. I want a quick, just something else. But they're pushing a higher relationship, which I do not want. So you kind of run away from it. Kinsey?
Okay, so with my dad and Wendy, like we have the whole stable thing, like, but I've been trying to move it to a different one, but I feel like it's not working. Like I'll try to like talk with them about something more intimate, or try to bring things up, and my dad sort of just goes off to his own little world.
This is what we're going to talk about. This is, I think, one of the most valuable things as we start to discuss how to do this. You cannot have a really strong, intimate relationship without